Cause wait a goddamn minute. Why am I so late to the party? Why didn't I know about Aaron, Pierre, that's Mufasa, and Teyana Taylor? Baby, what? Oh, you're gonna love me. That shit looks so divine. It's almost look like they was made for each other. Them motherfucking pictures look like they supposed to be in an art museum. Like that shit looks so fucking French kid. I am here for it. I am here for it. That gotta be the reason why Lori was like, nah, I'm cool on him. Because you know Lori is not turning down no new bank, baby. She would've ate it up real quick. Oh, I'm just here for it. They look so damn good together. Like,
you won't believe the emotional wave that's taken over social media since Teyana Taylor released her newest song. From the very first time fans heard a short preview of it, you could feel the pain in her voice. It wasn't just music, it was something deeper. You could hear the sadness, the disappointment, and the heartbreak she's been holding inside for a long time. This song wasn't just lyrics and melody. It was her letting go of the weight on her heart. And once she finally let those feelings out, it was like she released all the pain she had been carrying in silence. People instantly felt the rawness and truth behind every word. Even though she didn't say his name, it was obvious who she was talking about. Every line seemed to point right at Aaron. People online were stunned. It was like they all figured it out at once. Fans who had followed her relationship knew right away. For months, it looked like Teyana was finally moving forward. She was seen smiling again, out at events with Aaron, holding his hand, looking like she had found peace after the chaos with her past love, Amon. They were photographed having quiet dinners and sharing sweet moments that made everyone believe she was finally healing. But now it's clear those smiles were covering something deeper, something she didn't feel ready to share until now. The truth really started to come out one night when Teyana went live on Instagram. She wasn't dressed up. She wasn't wearing makeup. She looked like someone ready to be honest. She told her fans she had been working on something very personal, something that went beyond music. She said it had been weighing on her, and she needed to let it out before it consumed her completely. Then she played a raw recording. Her voice shook over the sound of a soft piano. It was impossible not to feel every word. This wasn't just another song. It was her story. It was like opening a diary and letting strangers read the most painful pages. She sang about loving someone who made her feel like she didn't matter. She talked about the long nights she waited, hoping he'd come home, even when she knew deep down he wouldn't. She shared how he was there in public, acting like the perfect man, but behind closed doors, things were very different. It wasn't loud heartbreak, it was the kind that quietly breaks you down piece by piece. One line hit especially hard. She sang, "I gave you all my light. You stayed in the dark." It felt like she was speaking directly to Aaron. Fans remembered how he once said in an interview that he wasn't ready for her kind of love. He had called their relationship too much. That lyric broke people's hearts. The comment sections were filled with crying emojis and people sharing their own stories of loving someone who never really tried. People could relate, and it hurt. As the song continued, the lyrics became more honest, even sharp. She described a man who watched her fall apart and still claimed to love her. Someone who promised forever but disappeared when it mattered most. It was raw. It was uncomfortable. But it was real. She didn't hold anything back. And by the time the live stream ended, everyone online was stunned. No one expected her to share so much. Within minutes, clips of the live were being reposted everywhere. People were sharing the lyrics, tagging Aaron, and demanding answers. Some were angry. Others were heartbroken. But most people agreed, Teyana was done staying silent. And maybe she should have spoken up sooner, but now that she had, there was no turning back. Sources close to her started talking. One insider said she had written the song months ago but wasn't sure if she should ever release it. She was scared people would call her bitter or say she was being dramatic. But eventually, she realized this wasn't about revenge. It was about healing. A friend even shared that Teyana had been so overwhelmed by her emotions, it was affecting her health. Writing the song felt like pulling off a bandage and letting the wound finally breathe. And it wasn't just about blaming Aaron. In the full version of the song, Teyana holds herself accountable too. She admits she saw the red flags. She sings about convincing herself he would change. She stayed, even when it hurt. That honesty is what makes the song powerful. It's not just her pain, it's her truth. She says, "I thought loving you could heal me, but you were the wound I kept reopening." That line alone gave people chills. After the song leaked, Aaron didn't say a word. No tweets. No Instagram stories. Not even a vague message. People started to wonder why. If he had nothing to hide, why not clear things up? Why not stand up for himself? The longer he stayed quiet, the more people believed her side of the story. The silence spoke louder than any statement ever could. And now, with the world watching, it's clear Teyana's voice, soft, honest, and full of pain, has finally been heard. Teyana didn't need to say much after her song dropped. She posted just one simple sentence on her Instagram story: "When you finally tell your side, they call it drama." That was it. No long explanations, no interviews, no trying to clean things up. Just one raw message that said everything she needed to. It was clear she had reached her limit. She wasn't going to keep pretending everything was okay. She was done hiding her pain behind forced smiles. She was ready for people to see her truth, no matter what they thought. Her fans felt that shift in her immediately. They didn't just support her, they stood by her like she was family. They created hashtags like #ICriedWithTana and #NeverShowedUp, and people across the internet began sharing personal stories of heartbreak. So many said they finally felt seen. They thanked her for writing the kind of song that put words to feelings they never knew how to explain. For a while, it seemed like the whole internet was holding its breath, trying to understand the reality. Behind all the glamorous pictures and red carpet appearances, behind the glitz was a woman who had quietly suffered for far too long. Even music critics joined the conversation. Some called the song one of the most honest breakup ballads of the year. Others said it was bold, maybe even risky, to reveal something so personal. But almost everyone agreed, Teyana had taken back control of her own story. She wasn't the girl in someone else's shadow anymore. She was finally speaking from her own light, even if that light came from pain. And maybe the most powerful part of all? She didn't act like it was just about Aaron. She hinted that this was bigger than one man. It was about always being the one who gives more, cares more, and ends up with less. That message hit home for thousands of people. The song became more than just music. It became a symbol for anyone who's ever loved someone who couldn't or wouldn't love them back. Fans went back and watched old interviews and videos of her and Aaron together. They re-examined every moment, every look, every awkward silence. Suddenly, what once looked like love now looked like sadness hidden behind a smile. The signs had always been there. People just hadn't noticed before. But now, no one could ignore it anymore. Sources close to Aaron claimed he was shocked by the song. One said he didn't expect her to be so direct. Another said he felt she was exaggerating. But those quiet whispers didn't stop the momentum. Teyana had spoken her truth, and people believed her. It didn't matter if Aaron thought it was unfair. The point was, she wasn't waiting for his approval anymore. In the days after the release, fans noticed something different about Teyana's public appearances. She still looked a little sad, but there was something stronger in her eyes. Like she'd finally stopped performing and started simply existing. No fake smiles. No polished perfection. Just a woman trying to heal in public, and doing it on her own terms. That honesty made people love her even more. Her comment sections were filled with kind words, personal stories, and strangers telling her how brave she was for being real in a world full of filters and fake happiness. Some people called her dramatic or emotional, but they were drowned out by the ones who saw her strength. They called her honest, relatable, and strong for telling the truth. This wasn't just another celebrity drama. It was something deeper. It was about having the courage to say, "You hurt me," and also having the strength to admit, "And I let you." That kind of honesty is rare, especially from people in the spotlight who are constantly told to protect their image. But Teyana chose realness over reputation, and that made all the difference. As her song kept rising on streaming platforms, the conversations only grew louder. Some wondered if Aaron would respond. Would he release a statement? A song? Maybe a social media post? No one knew. But honestly, it didn't matter anymore. The damage was done, and the truth was out there. Teyana's words had already made their mark. She had shown the world that no matter how famous someone is, pain is still pain, and healing from it takes guts. If you've ever loved someone who made you feel like you were asking for too much just by needing to be loved in return, you're not alone. If you stayed when you should have walked away, hoping they'd finally change, you're not weak, you're human. That's why this story cuts so deep. It reminds us that love without action isn't love. It's just a promise left empty. A door that never opens. A hand that never reaches back. So maybe now's the time to stop waiting for someone who never shows up. Maybe it's time to start choosing yourself, just like Teyana did. There's strength in that decision. There's freedom in that choice. And if this story touches something inside you, drop a comment below. Tell your story. Share your truth. Because healing gets a little easier when you know you're not going through it alone. We're stronger together. And hey, make sure to subscribe so you can follow Teyana's next steps and see how this all unfolds. Because if there's one thing this story proves, it's that every one of us deserves a love that shows up, stays, and never makes us question our worth.